Good evening, everyone. This is Dangdang News at 8 o'clock in the evening, November 19th. Demonstrations in Hong Kong are getting larger. However, Chinese government is still ignoring the voices of citizens and trying to suppress people in Hong Kong with armed force and violence. To cover what's going on in Hong Kong nowadays, we sent our reporter Huang to the demonstration spot in Hong Kong.
This is reporter Huang. I'm in Hong Kong right now, and this place is absolutely in turmoil. Contradiction and armed clashes between citizens and police seem to be endless.
That must be a big problem. What enrages citizens in Hong Kong?
After the handover of Hong Kong in 1997, Hong Kong has been under the rule of People's Republic of China. Chinese government promised a regime called One Country, Two System for 50 years for Hong Kong, which had long been ruled by capitalism system of Great Britain. But these days, especially after the inauguration of Xi Jinping, it is said that Chinese government is now suppressing Hong Kong.
Freedom for Hong Kong, freedom for Hong Kong, freedom for Hong Kong.
There's a student of Hong Kong yelling for freedom. Let's interview him. Hello.
Hello.
What makes you participate in this demonstration?
I disagree with the enactment of sending offenders to China.
Why?
We can't trust government. This enactment will undermine the autonomy of Hong Kong.
Well, we know that China admitted the right of autonomy of Hong Kong. What's happening?
They promised autonomy, but China is now putting pressure to Hong Kong government. We can even select our own candidates. We have to vote for candidates who are selected by Chinese government. They will take citizens who disagree with their policy and torture them.
That must be awful.
Do you know that Hong Kong is one of the biggest international financial hubs?
Sure, I know.
If we are being ruled by China, their coercive system will make Hong Kong rigid. This will greatly harm economy of Hong Kong.
Hey!
Oh, hey, stop! I'm reporter.
Okay.
Are you police?
Yeah, I am police from China.
Why do you oppress citizens so severely?
Because they are riots. They are so violent. A few days ago, riots set fire on Chinese friendly men. That's ridiculous. Also, citizens are now assaulting police to ensure the safety of ourselves. We can't avoid using violence.
That's because police have been violent first. Police are now shooting near bullets to citizens, and one policeman offended a girl sexually. That's not the behavior of human being.
Shut up!
Oh, calm down. Why do you think they are riot?
I can't understand why they are doing this.
Why?
Do you know what is the most important and primary regime of China?
No, I don't.
It's one China. These riots are trying to split China. We Chinese can't tolerate with riots who are trying to split China and win independence.
But China promised autonomy for Hong Kong in 1997.
Chinese government should obey the promise.
I said, shut up!
Oh,
Also, riots are now destroying social infrastructure in Hong Kong. It's a plant that they are now doing a terror. Some people are now hacking the private information of police, family, or relatives. They will cause secondary problems.
Chinese government should stop the torment. Human rights for entire China.
hey, this was reporter Huang.
It is said that a series of demonstrations in Hong Kong resembles that of Republic of Korea in 1980s. Until late 1980s, Republic of Korea was ruled by dictators who had been soldiers. To know what factors resemble the situations of Korea in 1980s, Dangdang Broadcasting Center invited Professor Ham, who is an authority of Korean modern history. Good evening, Mr. Ham.
Good evening, Mr. Zhang.
Well, how do you think of demonstrations in Hong Kong for democracy nowadays?
It's such a great misery to see people in Hong Kong are now being suppressed in the aspect of human rights because of just calling for democracy.
Well, as we can know from the history, Republic of Korea had great demonstrations for democratization in 1980s. A lot of citizens were sacrificed, and many students, especially those in universities, were repressed by police and army. Still, a lot of people remember that period. It is said that demonstrations in Hong Kong resemble those of Republic of Korea in 1980s. What do you think of that?
Of course, they resemble each other.
How do they resemble each other?
First, they share the fact that in the process of demonstration, citizens were oppressed with great violence by their own government. Chinese government under the control of the sea are now giving pressure to Hong Kong, causing violent suppression. There were also similar cases in Korea. Ex-President John and his army conducted a genocide in Gwangju. Korean government also restricted all the vehicles entering Gwangju, and broadcasting was prohibited. Now China is controlling media too.
Can we expect Chinese government to retreat from Hong Kong?
We can sure about that. As we can see from the case of Tiananmen, Chinese government has tendency to oppress demonstrations, especially those desiring for democracy. It was a great shock for me to see PLA killing people with guns and tanks. Moreover, they are still controlling information about Tiananmen on the internet and SNS.
Who are the major participants of these demonstrations?
Almost every citizens are now taking part in this situation, especially students are now actively moving.
Well, you know that many students took part in demonstrations of Korea, right? The phenomena in Hong Kong reminds me of Lee Han-yeol or Park Jong-chul, who were killed by soldiers and police. And universities were the main target of police at that time.
I think also same things happen nowadays. Police in Hong Kong are now attacking universities. That's too bad. We should keep paying attention to this phenomenon.
Well, thank you for responding to our interview. This was Dangdang News about demonstrations in Hong Kong. There should not be any oppression to human rights. Thank you for watching the news. Good night.